Hey guys, welcome to USL Lifestyle, where you get to live your life differently. I am back on the scene with a fabulous artist. She is an author, she's a mother, she's a wife. She is this business powerhouse. And I met her several years ago, and we're going to talk about her book as well. But she is just doing so many great things. I follow her on Facebook, I follow her also on LinkedIn as well. And she's always doing all these great things, and she's going these great places, and she's empowering so many young women and women like myself to just continue to strive hard for all your goals and adversity, no matter how old you are in life. So without further ado, let me help welcome Jessica Varian Maldonado.
I
That's
got you, girl. Jessica Varian Maldonado.
Thank you. I just butchered her whole name. That's why I'll never get upset when people can't say my name right. I'm like, it's okay, it's all good. Well, thank you so much, Jessica, for being on the show. And thank you for taking the time out to being on the show, because I know that you have a lot going on. So can you tell the audience about, we will start with S.O.A.R, and tell them, before we start with S.O.A.R, the first business for women that you actually do. Can you tell us what has motivated you to become this great empowerment speaker, author, writer, and so forth, with all the puffing?
Absolutely. What I think, in hindsight, I wrote my book. First of all, thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored. And, when I wrote my book, She Had No Business, back in 2019, or behind me, I had to do a lot of digging, and I could pinpoint it to a couple things, but I think really it stems back from like elementary school and being in Girl Scouts. And my mother really didn't partake in any of that kind of stuff, but I was around other women, other moms that were doing these things that I had never heard of, never seen of. And it just really kind of blew me away. So I was only in for a couple years while it was still cool. And, I was exposed to different things, camping, women in business. And, my mother had worked at the hospital at the time. So it was just completely different. I was exposed to the cookie sales. So I wanted to sell more cookies than anyone. So I was 100
Yeah.
boxes in third grade, that was my goal. And so I think it stems back from, that experience. And then I can see it dabbled in here and there, but basically, being inspired by those leaders way back when. And then when I found out I was having a daughter, I knew the impact that those women had for just a couple of years of my life. So I immediately signed up to be a Girl Scout leader before she was even born. And they're like, hey, give us a couple years. You're not ready. And I was a Girl Scout leader for 8 years. So I really think it started super young. And then it was around the community that I had stepped in out of my comfort zone into. And I was 31. I was doing multi-level marketing. I was doing candle business, and someone had invited me to this program. It was Women in Power. And here, if you told me that then, I would be like, I'm not so sure I deserve that. So I showed up, and I kind of hid in the corner, and all of these women in the similar age group were there, and they were just powerhouse, dynamos, and they were impressing me. They were, sharing their input, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, oh my God, please don't talk to me. Put me in the corner. I'm so embarrassed. I don't deserve to be in this room. Mm-hmm. And through, being with them and showing up outside my comfort zone, I became friends with them, and eventually best friends with some of them, and friends with them to this day. But I surrounded myself with women that were movers and shakers, and they were doing things in business and doing things for the community. So it was really just the tribe or the squad or whatever you might want to call it that helped me catapult me to where I am now, and what I continue to do and strive to do for others.
I just love the fact that you are so humble, and that you had such a, what you want to say, an influence from your mom that you didn't even realize was coming from, and that you just have this energy about yourself that this allows for you to be in the room around all these people, but you have this energy about yourself where you're just this amazing person when it comes to your work and your passion and your purpose. And that's the things that I believe, empower other women and other younger women to continue to do great things in their life. And that's what your daughter has seen, because your daughter is just like, I had never met your daughter, but I see all the pictures that you post on social media. So, I mean, to be in just your presence is probably just, I
Oh,
would
thank
say,
you. Very sweet.
no, because it takes a lot for women to do the things that we do and actually do it, you know what I mean? Because a lot of times we have the vision, we have the thought, we have the belief. A lot of times it doesn't manifest into reality because of the fact we may get stopped from, other things, other responsibilities. So it's good to see how your business has grown and how you have been able to become this powerhouse. Because to me, you're a powerhouse. When it comes to your book, her book is awesome, guys, but we'll talk a little bit about that when it comes to your book. But your next project, which is Magnificently Made, is something very new. And then, of course, let's talk first about S.O.A.Rs and this woman empowerment, since you were just talking about all the women that kind of influenced you when you went and got invited to their event. Can you tell us a little bit about S.O.A.Rs?
Yeah, absolutely. So S.O.A.R, it sees opportunity and rise, and we created it, me and my co-founder, Jen Toomey Young, in 2017. I had met Jen probably a year or two prior to that. I was writing a different book, and someone said, "You have to meet with this woman. She'll help you, she'll guide you." And so I shared a little bit about my story. We became friends, and she goes, I really, you need to come talk at my conference in Pennsylvania. And at that time it was called Bold Her. And here I am, who, me? I don't deserve to be there. Why would you ask me? And I guess the one story that I shared with her that really touched her was I went on a mission trip to Haiti in 2011 after the earthquake. So I was a single mom of 4, raising them physically, financially, solely alone. And a gentleman in my church said, I'd like to do this fundraiser, Tents for Haiti. Will you partner? And I'm like, what do you mean partner? I don't deserve it. You're this, this New York City businessman. I'm just like this mom selling candles, working in the church basement. And he goes, no, I need you. So him and I collaborated, and we sold $10,000-$15,000 worth of tents for Haiti, and so then they asked us to come and to see what we had done. And so then I got my first passport at 31 years old, and I flew to Haiti, and I spent several days there in the mountains, no electricity, no running water. And here I have 4 kids at home, and we're barely making ends meet. But I knew that this is something, it was a once in a lifetime opportunity that I needed to go and do, and also to be a good role model for my children. So we went, and I shared that with Jen, and she said, please come talk. So I didn't understand why, because hey, I'm just me. And so in the fall, I went up to Strasbourg, to a beautiful place, and I was on a panel, and I just kind of shared my story of things that I had done. And I brought probably about 12 women with me, 12 friends, and some of them from that group that I didn't feel like I belonged to. And here I'm on a panel of this women's organization.
That's great.
And it was just so amazing. So then some time later, Jen is from this area too. And she said, she reached out to me, and she's like, I want to bring that Bold Her, but I want to bring it to the Jersey Shore. Will you partner with me? And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm a single mom of 4. I don't, I never saw like the value, like what people saw in me. I'm just Jessica. I'll do whatever I can to help you or anybody else. And so in my business at the time, a home organizing company, I had seen the void. I was working with predominantly women who needed help decluttering and organizing. But I found that there was a commonality that most of them lacked female friends. And here, by this time, I was growing my community. I was getting more comfortable in my own skin. And so I would have several events, and I'd invite my clients to my events. And then I would see the friendships forming, then the Facebook friend requests. And then I was like weaving these people together. And it was so beautiful because a woman that didn't really have anywhere to go or anybody to hang out with, she now is in this new community, making friends, having a new best friend. And so when she had asked me, I was like, absolutely, let's do this. And so if you ask us at the time, Jen and I had $0 to start what we wanted to bring this conference to the shore. Neither of us had like a dime to spare, but we're like, you know what, we're gonna do this. So we toured several places in Long Branch, and then we were going up to the rooftop at the Avenue in Pier Village, which is kind of very high end. And we get up to the stair to the top, and it's floor to ceiling windows, and we're like, this is it. This has got to be the spot. And now this is like, we're talking $150 per head to have something there, you know, a wedding. And we were just like, you know what, if we build it, they'll come. They didn't need a deposit right away. You could get a deposit in 60 days. We're like, okay, if we sell tickets, we sell sponsorships, and their max capacity was 60, we're gonna do this. So we booked it. No money, we didn't have any money, but we just believed that we were gonna do this. We were gonna bring 60 women together to spend the day together, to be inspired, to be motivated, to motivate each other, and just connect a one-on-one. And so when we were booking, the guy was there and he's giving us the tour, and I go, well, I want the dolphin package. And he looks at me like, what is a dolphin package? I go, I want dolphins frolicking out in the, you know, the sea while we're, you know, on your rooftop overlooking the ocean. And he goes, well, there's dolphins in the ocean. And I'm like, okay, well, that's the package I want. And so he kind of laughed it off. And so lo and behold, 6 months later, we sold out of every seat. We had a waiting list for women to come. We had several sponsorship tables. We partnered with the Girl Scouts of the Jersey Shore. They were there. And so the door is open. It's like 8:30 in the morning. We're greeting people. You know, this is happening. It's, you know, it's all happening. And we hear all this commotion, you know, as people are checking in. Everybody's outside on the rooftop deck overlooking the ocean. And like this buzz, I'm like, what's happening? What's going on here? So I go out to the rooftop deck. Lo and behold, there's a pod of dolphins frolicking in the ocean. Wow. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And not only dolphins, we had a whale that kept breaching, like kept, you know, going up for air. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is insane. I've been here my whole life and I've never seen dolphins in the ocean. And so we open it up, and I'm just sitting back, like, I manifested dolphins and I got a whale.
Yes.
And it's just so unbelievable. I mean, it really just goes to show, put it out there. You never know. You could have dolphins, you could get a whale, you could sell out your tickets. You know, here we were, you know, we did the whole, if you build it, they will come, and it happened. And now we just had our 7th event in October. Wow. We had 100 women at Asbury Park Lanes, and we probably halfway sold out for the next one. So it's a ton of work, but seeing the magic that goes down there, it's really indescribable. The women connecting, the women being inspired by others. So it was truly magical. So that's just a little smidgen of what S.O.A.R is, to me at least.
I love it. I love the fact that you just took the words out of my mouth. You manifest, you just said that you were going to do it, and things just come together. And I think, you know, even when you were telling the back end of the story leading to your first event at the Avenue, I believe you said it was like, even though you may have not physically had it, but you had the vision, and you was like, we're going to do it. We're just going to put it out there. We're just going to do it. And just things were just coming together. Just the partnerships were coming together. The people were coming together. You didn't need the deposits. You could build things. And it just shows you, when you believe, things can just happen. They just come into life. And it's amazing to be able to look back from where you started to where you are now. So that is so inspiring to hear, but also so motivating as well. Now let's talk a little bit about Magnificently Made. How did you come up with that concept, and can you tell us a little bit about that organization as well?
Sure, absolutely. Well, I'm published under Inspire Girl Books back in 2019. My partner of S.O.A.R created her own publishing company. And so I was the first book published under her. Currently, we have, I think, probably 15 books out with another 30 coming out in the near future. All women, all inspirational, motivational content, designed to help others.
Great.
So in December of last year, Jen asked me if I would come on as a partner of Inspired Girl Enterprises. And of course, I say yes without knowing everything. Jump in the net will follow, one of my famous go-to quotes. And so we've been together since then. And one of our first projects was Jen had an idea to bring 33 women, it was a number 33 women, to share one chapter of their story, one chapter of their tale, to motivate, to inspire, to just take people there. And so again, we had this concept. Jen came up with this idea, and she said, if I just find one woman to sign on, I'm doing it. So lo and behold, the women showed up, the women appeared. And it's funny because we reached out to several women who didn't feel that they had anything to contribute, where we saw them, as this beautiful bright light with stories to share, and they had a message. They were like, who, me? I don't deserve it. Nobody wants to, and they couldn't see their own brilliance. So some of them, we had to speak to a couple times. We believe in you. We see it. We see how people see you. And so it was quite interesting how people really deflected or didn't really see or honor their light. But, I was there 10 years ago. I didn't understand why anybody would want to partner with me or have me speak. And so I understood it. So it was really beautiful to be able to express the women that, showed interest. This is why we think you're a perfect fit. This is what you're doing to the world, the people around you, your loved ones. So I know that's a long story, but so we have 33 women coming together. It should be released in January. Well, in the early spring of 2023. There's a lot of backlog with books right now, but we're super excited. The women are all fantastic. The editing, it's really going to be a coffee table book. So it's meant to be shown. And, so we have contributors from East Coast to West Coast. All it's not one story fits everybody. So we want you to resonate with this story or this person, and then connect. And there's a way to connect with the authors. So if you're really resonating with this story and you need to know more, we have a contact page for each one. So it's just wonderful. And then my daughter is going to have a chapter in there. So it'll be our first collaboration. So I'm super excited. She's a senior in high school now. So I'm really excited for that. And so that meant a lot to me. She didn't completely understand it, and I needed a little prodding and poking, but she had to do her college essay anyway. So we're fixing it and transforming it into a beautiful chapter that's, very important. So she'll be our youngest contributor at 18. So it's very exciting.
I'm very excited too. So definitely we'll continue to watch out the spring of 2023 when Magnificently Made will be out there. And I love the fact that you have something with your daughter. It's going to help inspire other young women as well, especially the teen/college years of those, that transitional period. And I think it's great that your daughter is contributing to the book, because it can speak to that age bracket, those voices. So
yeah, and that'll be something that'll be with her forever, because she will now be a nationally published author as a senior in high school, which not everybody has that opportunity,
I know I didn't have it at 12 in 12th grade, so that's a blessing that she's having that experience. No, that's amazing. So congratulations.
Well, I didn't even step into who I was really meant to be till I was 31 years old. I was just following, get married, have kids, buy a house, work a 9 to 5, and that was all that was expected, nothing else. And then I woke up one day, I'm like, I don't think this is right. It's not what I want for my forever. And I made some changes, and now I couldn't be happier doing all of these things that are so worthwhile on so many levels.
Correct. That's a beautiful story. And I'm glad that you were able to tap in to your to your inner being of what's going to make you happy, what's going to bring you joy, what's going to bring you peace. And that's the secret to life. You know, that's the secret to life. All the other stuff will fall into place. If you have those ingredients first, then everything else is going to fall. And that's why everything fell into place, because you have found your inner self. You have found the peace and the happiness and the joy, and everything else. It was like a domino effect. It was
Yeah, they help to contribute to be someone else's domino effect, to see them, to shine the light, to put them on stage, to publish them, to do whatever. Because one of my, my love language is acts of service. And and that, as long as I'm helping people, and that was one of my mother's things. She didn't care about how much money you had. She didn't care about your grades. If you were a good person, a kind person, that's all that mattered in her book. And so that is not so commonly adapted by most families. And so that's difficult. But I have 4 kids, and they range from 17 to 23, and I know they're good kids, they're kind, and everything else is secondary. So as long as I put out good children, was a good role model, and helped inspire them to be better, then that my job is done. Check.
Yes, exactly. And you did a great check too. Goes to you, and blessings as well. Now, in regards to your book, She Had No Business, I think this is a great stocking stuffer, guys, for you guys that have. You can give it away as a gift for your Secret Santa. This is a really good self-help empowerment book as well. So tell the fans a little bit about your book, and how can they purchase your book as well?
Sure, absolutely. So my business is She Had No Business, a real life tale of faith, courage, and beating the odds. Because as a single mother of 4, for a very, very long time, we were at points where we had, the water turned off, and I needed to go to the food pantry, and I needed to ask help for the electricity. And, so I've been very close to the bottom, not at the bottom, but I knew where to turn or how to ask for help, not to be, so proud. So I would do that. And so my book is available Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Target, Walmart. And then locally, if you live in Monmouth County, let's meet up. I have copies. I'll sign them for you. And then we have book signings throughout the year. So it's very exciting. We partner with Barnes & Noble. And so this book really came to me. My partner from S.O.A.R, Jen, was going to publish her first person. And I thought of everybody else that deserved to write a book. And then several hours later, because she had asked me, who do I know that I think would be a good fit? I thought of everybody else. I texted, hey, there's an opportunity, And then in the back of my mind, it went, well, what about you? Your story is something, what about you? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know if and I all second guessed myself. So I texted her very formally, which was not common for us. And I said, can we talk? And she must have been like, what is going on? That's so formal. And so she called me, and I said, what about me? She goes, I just got goosebumps. It has to be you. It couldn't be anybody else but you. And so together through the process, because she published with HarperCollins several years ago, so she wanted to help others cut all that red tape. And so from start to finish in 6 months, I had a book in my hands. And I was just a very average student in high school. I worked really hard, but I didn't excel. I mean, I did the best I could, but I worked really hard. So if you were to tell me when I was in high school that I would write a book that would be on shelves at the stores, I'd be like, no freaking way. It just isn't even a possibility. And so it just goes to show that anybody can do anything that they want. They put their minds to it, and they have the right people and the right support staff. So, it took 6 months. I've sold, close to 1,000 copies. And my goal ultimately is if I could just help inspire one person at a difficult, challenging point of their life to just continue on, or it'll get better, or, carry on, then that was my goal. And I know through, people telling me things, they've celebrated their birthday, they took the leap, they got the job, and all of these things. And surprisingly, I've even had men, which I never thought men would read it, come to me and they took pieces out and applied it to their lives. So you just don't know who needs what to hear. The Girl Scout stories in there, the dolphin stories in there. So there's a bunch of stories I'm sharing with you. But so it's all in there, and it's just jump in the net will follow, really.
Yes, and it's a great book, guys. I purchased my copy a couple years ago where I met Jessica in Eatontown, New Jersey. So definitely make sure you get her book for yourself and for a loved one this holiday season. It's Black Friday. So if you're in Eatontown at the Barnes and Nobles in New Jersey, it's sold on those shelves. So thank you so much, Jessica.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. What an honor. I was so touched that you asked me. So thank you so much. I really, really appreciate this time and all your enthusiasm and your kind words. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. And please tell the fans, how can they get in contact with you? Can you let them know about your website, social media, email?
Oh my gosh, do you have all day? So yes, no, I'm on LinkedIn, Jessica Varian Maldonado. I have seizopportunityrise.com for S.O.A.R if you're interested in S.O.A.R. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. It's all kind of there. Connect with us, connect with me. I answer it. I love feedback. I love to interact. There's some tips and there's some suggestions and some things here and there. So I just really, however I contribute, however I can help or serve you, please just, let me know I'm here. Any questions, I'm available, so yes, please.
And thank you so much. And thank you again, fans, for watching our show. This is our holiday edition. And again, Jessica Varian Maldonado. Make sure you follow her on Facebook, LinkedIn as well. And you can also email her, and we'll have all the information at the bottom of this show link. And make sure you continue to live your life differently when you watching USL Lifestyle. Thank you, guys. I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Take care and bye.
Bye-bye.